Hi everyone, it's been a few days, and so today we are going to solve more than one daily puzzle. We're going to be solving 4-8, 4-9, and 4-10. If you haven't solved them yet, go ahead and check them out. If you've already solved them and you want to have a quick review, see if you remember the answer. It's amazing to me how many times I would review tough puzzle books and realize I had forgotten the position. So if you'd like to review before we move forward, and let me know if you think my haircut makes me look fat, we're going to go ahead and get started, taking a break from my busy day of tweeting, working to solve some puzzles with you. So here we go, 4-8. I have not seen any of these yet. This is called converting the advantage, apparently. What exactly are we converting? So the first thing I would consider, of course, is knight takes e3 check. It's the most forceful move. F takes e3 is not a possibility, but after queen takes e3, I see no immediate follow-up. Rook takes f2 is not an option. One interesting possibility would be to play something like rook c2. If rook takes, queen takes, knight takes e3. If knight takes e3 was somehow, some way a fork that actually won material, but it doesn't look like it would be. So I'm still not quite sure yet. There's a number of just potential tactics here. What's jumping out at me is the precarious position of not only the king along the second rank in our doubled rooks, not only the knight takes e3 check, but also the queen on this diagonal. So one of the moves I look at is like a move like rook a1, and if the queen takes it, you have rook takes f2 check, and if rook takes, you'd win the queen. But after rook a1, there's a couple things. One, I think, no, he can't get away with queen to c3 because then I have knight takes e3 check. Okay, so we're getting closer. Actually, that starts to look more and more like the idea of rook a1, queen takes a1, knight takes e3 check. If king back to g1, we can actually... No, we can't. I thought for a second we could take f3, and we're threatening mate on g2, but he can take on b2, which is check. So interesting. Obviously, we're sort of like a shark in this situation. We're smelling blood in regards to the potential tactics of the awkwardness of our opponent's position, but I don't see the concrete answer yet. Again, if knight takes e3, queen takes e3, is there something specific that I'm missing there? If rook e2, the queen can move to d4, and a queen trade is once again not something we want if we're down a piece. So what am I missing here? Rook to b1 does similar things that rook to a1 did as far as deflecting the queen away from e3. So if rook to b1, queen takes b1, knight takes e3 check, king moves, and then queen takes f3, that looks really strong actually because we're threatening mate on g2, and now if he takes a2, we can take... Or sorry, we can play checkmate because it's not check. Rook b1 looks pretty strong. And actually, if he moves the queen anywhere else, remember, obviously queen d2 is not an option. And if he moves the queen anywhere else, well, then knight takes e3 will now be a possibility. Rook to b1 looks pretty strong the more I look at it. Let me just do our due diligence here. If rook b1 takes, knight takes e3 check, king h3, make sure we're mating in with queen f5. Looks to be the case. All right, let's go for it. Okay, got it right. Takes. Now we're going to play knight takes e3 check. And after king to g1, we are going to capture. Okay, solved it. Well, what were we able to learn about this? I think that we considered more than one option. Obviously, you've seen me, I think, miss like 3 or 4 puzzles since we started this whole daily puzzle series on YouTube. And it's almost always situations where the idea was recognized. Very rarely did you just completely miss an idea, but maybe got obsessed with one way of thinking or one form of executing the tactic instead of considering multiple options. When you see this idea like rook a1 as a really cool deflection tactic because of this mating net with knight takes e3 and queen takes f3, you don't want to give up on that idea just because you recognize that rook a1, queen takes a1, knight takes e3, king g1 doesn't work because the queen will be taking on b2 with check once you take f3. It's very important not to give up on your dreams, kids. Follow your dreams. Let's solve the next puzzle. Mate in 3, it's a 4-9. 4-9er, 9er, 9er, 10-4, 4-9er, What's your 20, Niner? 760, over. What's your 20, Roger? My name's not Roger, it's Bill. My bad. Hashtag pro tip, get your name right. Okay, well, here we see the king on d8. We're not even down material here. This is a position where white is up a piece, so one of those not quite as thrilling daily puzzles because just about any legal move here is winning for white. I mean, like, you start looking at all the checks, which are bishop b6 and queen b6 check, as well as rook e8. But of course, there's also moves like rook e7 first, and if queen c6, bishop b6 check, king to c7, rook c7 would be winning. So this wouldn't be my favorite daily puzzle because there are so many options for white to win here. I think it's just the grandmaster in me, although let's not pretend I'm a grandmaster. It's the chess professional in me. Almost GM, international master, could have been a contender in me. That's all hyphenated, by the way. It's that person in me who gets a little bit frustrated when I'm solving a daily puzzle where I'm already winning, or clearly winning. Anyway, that's just the chess professional me. Because why is that the chess professional me? Well, because most chess professionals are lazy. I'll tell you the truth. Two things chess pros are really good at: being lazy and being selfish. You can take that to the bank. And so if I'm already winning, I'm just going to find the easiest way to win in a real game. Like, I would just play bishop b6 check here, move, and then just like move my knight to d5 check without even a second thought because I just know I'm about to win significant amounts of material. But in a daily puzzle setting, I'm not allowed to do that because I have to solve it for realsies, as they say. So let's see if we can figure out the most accurate tactic. At the very least, it says mate in 3, which is helpful. Right? At least they tell us it has to be a mate in 3. So even though it's a winning position, we know what we have to play for, so that makes it a little bit more worth solving, so to speak. So let's see here. If bishop b6 check, king to c8, knight to d5 check, he can block with the knight, and I see no mate in 3. Knight e7's a check. But that's it. Bishop e6 check, king to c8, knight to b5 check. Again, he blocks with the knight. Knight a7 is not mate. I'm guessing what makes this one hard is that the first move might be a little tricky. Okay, let's say queen b6 check, king to c8, bishop takes f5. That would be a deflection of the queen for mate, and it actually pins the queen. Yeah, that's it. I see it. It's forced mate. It's one of those positions where he's in zugzwang, right? Or not necessarily in zugzwang. Zugzwang is when you have to make a move that loses, move compulsion. It's that you're in a position of helplessness. Okay, so that was one that I could have gotten wrong under a different mindset and some of the bad tactics I was solving last week. But regardless of my speech about the fact that it's not quite as fulfilling to do daily puzzles when you're already winning, this is still kind of instructive. It's always nice to finish off as quickly as you can. Queen to b6 check and bishop takes f5 is simply me finding it just because I'm considering all the possible checks, and eventually you kind of recognize this idea of mating him on c7. Once you consider bishop e6 check and realize there's no discovery that's going to bring you anything, it's pretty much time to move on from a different move besides bishop e6 check. And that's what I did, and that's what I found. So let's try to solve the last one, which is today's daily puzzle when I'm recording this video, 410. Wowzers, that's my first thing I'm going to say, because this is a very strange position. I have no idea what's going on here. Are we just losing in this position? There must be some sort of way to create some sort of stalemate. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, the title of the puzzle says Last Resort Draw, so Captain Obvious. Way to go, Danny. The first thing I'm going to consider are, now that I'm not even looking for a mating net, which I was already frustrated with in the beginning before I even looked at the title. First thing I'm going to look for is ways to, sort of self-stalemate. And there's a pretty obvious idea here. This is a pattern I've seen before. You want to be able to move this pawn with check. And the reason is that if you move that pawn with check, you're self-pinning the bishop. You're self-pinning the bishop to the king. So I'm going to guess some idea is going to be to move the king to one of these squares and then self-pin the bishop and then sacrifice the queen. The first thing that comes to mind is bishop to g5 check, which forces king to take. Then f4 check, because the nice thing about that is no matter where he goes, it doesn't matter where he moves the king, whether he takes it or runs away, we're going to be able to have a queen check, and we've self-stalemated. So I'm almost 100% sure this is right. No! I was wrong. I was wrong, Donkey Kong. Although I think I'm actually right as far as a dual answer. Because I think the answer they want is queen e5 check and then f4 check. Yeah. And then sacrifice the bishop. With... See, but this is not a great daily puzzle. Because aren't there multiple ways to do it? I guess they're saying no. I have to go here. Oh, that's kind of cool. And the king can't escape. Wow, that's actually a lot of fun. I'll say that. Okay, that's a lot of fun. And now, okay, I have multiple ways to do it. I think they're both draws. Okay, but I want to back up, because even though I got this wrong, I'm not convinced that that's the best daily puzzle. So after bishop to g5, the only legal move is to take it. Then I play f4 check. Okay? Even if he moves the king to h6 or h4, I either have queen e7 check or queen f8 check. If he moves to g6 or f6, I have queen takes. And my queen's going to go kamikaze. It's going to be a draw. So I'd have to analyze it, on a different board than the daily puzzle board because it doesn't allow us to do it. But I'm almost positive that bishop g5 check takes, f4 check first, king takes. And in that position, I can play queen takes f5 if he plays king e3. Oh, no, I did get it wrong. Yeah, if he plays king e3, he gets out. Because the thing I didn't realize is that if we keep giving check, eventually he escapes, and if he gets in a position where he can give up this rook, then he won't be stalemated anymore, because I'll have taken the knight and the rook, which are the only two pieces that guard g3. You got me, daily puzzle. I'm gonna get you and your little dog too. Daily puzzle got me. Well, I wasn't going to argue that my idea was certainly as beautiful as the idea that it starts with queen e5 check and f4. That's just, that's about as delicious as it gets, Is that a renegade bishop, or are you just happy to see me? You know what I'm talking about? That's some pretty sassy stuff. So queen e5 is certainly brilliant, and I think if I had taken a little more time, I would have seen that one as another option. But once I was already convinced of this kamikaze stalemate idea, I think I was probably already going to get this one wrong. Because I saw bishop g5 and f4, and I just assumed the queen was taking, and it's kamikaze mate, but it doesn't work. Because he eventually can escape, and he's going to be able to create a situation where he's giving up the rook and the knight, but he'll still be up tons of material, and my king will have an option to escape, which is not what we want. So touche. Hats off to you, Mr. Daily Puzzle, and good show. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this slightly longer daily puzzle. I get to bust them all out in one place. You get more instruction. You get more bang for your buck. Everybody's happy. Everybody wins. Go ahead and give me a like on the video and go ahead and share it with somebody. All right? Do it for me. Make sure that you're subscribing to all of our new template design. I just do what I'm told here, all right? Tells you all the things so you can get all the chess news in the world. Make sure you subscribe to all that stuff, and talk to you later.